30 minutes from Kansas City is Lenexa, home to one of several underground facilities used within the state of Kansas for business and storage purposes. To access the American Indian Records Repository, you drive into a hill.
Our job function here is to receive and store the Native American records from across the United States, all the federal records, and then also some of the tribal trust records we have here that we store. Back in the 70s, these were some old limestone mines, and they mined them, but they mined them in a way that they could be able to use them for storage or for office space. Through the years of the litigation and even today, there was a need to be able to centrally locate all of the Indian Fiduciary Trust records to be able to support the research efforts for the litigation. And our records were spread throughout the nation in the FRCs, where the local offices would retire their records to the nearest FRC near them. So it was decided by the Office of the Secretary to build this facility in a central location and be able to have one location for all of the Indian Fiduciary Trust records to be located. And so in 2003, NARA and the Department of Interior met and came up with the idea to build this facility here underground alongside with the other NARA storage centers where they store other records. NARA is National Archives Records Administration, and the FRC, the acronyms,
no problem,
is a Federal Records Center.
The litigation TAP references is Cobell v. Salazar, one of the largest class action lawsuits in American Indian history regarding the mismanagement of thousands of individual Indian money accounts. The facility is generally closed to the public, but individuals can gain access by going through the proper channels. I know you don't allow a lot of crowds in here, but how can a person get a tour of this facility?
What they would need to do is contact the director of the Office of Trust Records and give the names of the individuals and the dates in which they would like to come here for a tour. And then the director would decide whether or not to grant authorization. Once she grants authorization, she lets me know so that I can inform our guard, and then the guard actually would allow them to come in, but they would be escorted for a tour. First thing we do is we show them a video of how to properly handle our records. And then also they sign a research agreement. And that agreement is basically listing out the procedures that they need to follow. Also near the records, when they're around the records, there's no drinks. There is no tobacco of any type. There is no chewing gum, no hand lotion. So there's nothing around the records that could harm them. No pens, no highlighters, no markers can be allowed. We store here the records from the Bureau of Indian Education and their functions, the Office of Special Trustee, of course, for American Indians. Also, we have Indian Education records, Office of Judicial Services records, which are law enforcement that are out on the Indian reservations, and we also store here records for the Secretary, the Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs, and also the trust-related records for our solicitors' offices. Those types of records could be financial, of course, education, high school transcripts, marriage certificates, death certificates, all the types of personal information of people who have been enrolled. This is just an old ledger that records some of the older transactions and investments made, but you can see how brittle it is, and due to its age. So these looks like these are investments. The records here are maintained in archival standards, and the temperature is at 60 degrees. The humidity is controlled to protect them. Also, the air is filtered several times a day. You know, we are underground, so we're safe away from any type of natural disaster or tornado won't affect us down here. If someone wanted to get a copy of maybe their great-grandmother's marriage license or some death certificate or something to try to trace back their history, what they would do is they would go to their nearest Bureau of Indian Affairs office and do a research request. And that would be sent to us, and I have a staff here that actually does research, and we would do the research, see if we could find the information, and then we would release that information back to the BIA. We only release information back to the owners of the records. We don't release it to the public. If someone wanted to do that without going through the BIA, then they would have to send us a Freedom of Information request.
Depending on the employee's workload, responses to requests usually happen within 48 hours, but no more than 5 days after they are received.
This area here is the space where the boxes are actually, the information is being taken out of the box, off of the files, and actually entered into a database, so that in the future we would be able to retrieve, for research purposes, we would be able to know where to go to look for the documents that are being requested. All of our boxes, when they get here, have a barcode put on them and are scanned to a physical location, so that at any given time we know where a box resides. So I always tell the staff, our rule is within 5 minutes, we locate a box. This is the dock, and this is where all the boxes are actually received from the field. And also, this is where the boxes, well, when they come in from the field, they come in here and they're put on these stacks over here, is what we call the stacks, to be weighted, to be indexed. We did have, about a couple months ago, a couple of tribal guys come in and do some research, and they were surprised that there's not more tribes that actually come in for research. It's a facility to be able to preserve the history. You know, I heard one person say before, we're building a legacy. We have the records here that have they show for future generations, they will be here to show the workings of the federal government as far as what was being done for Native Americans. We preserve the past and educate the future.